What's up, my friends? Today I'm going to walk you through how I recorded and processed my vocals in my song Undone. If you haven't listened to it yet, check out the music video over here. Now, watch until the end of this video because along the way I'm going to recommend some alternatives to the plugins that I use, maybe even save you some money. I recorded my voice using the Shure SM7B microphone into the Apollo 8 audio interface by Universal Audio. It's a great interface, but you can get similar results from much cheaper interfaces. Check out my vocal comparison using the Universal Audio interface and the Focusrite Scarlett over here. Let's get started. I'm going to play you the vocals using the plugin chain I used for the song, the way I released it on Spotify. The total cost of this plugin chain at retail price is $2,260. Yeah, that's a lot. But after I released the song, I went back and reprocessed the vocals using plugins that cost much less. And it sounds, well, I'll let you decide. First, let's listen to the vocals with no processing at all.
She says, grow with me. Getting older wasn't part of the plan. Symptoms I'm experiencing.
All right, they're super quiet and really hard to hear. Let's listen to it now with the full plugin chain activated.
She says, grow with me. Getting older wasn't part of the plan. Symptoms I'm experiencing. Popping pills won't relieve me.
So I use a combination of a bunch of plugin effects by different companies, but mostly UAD plugins. UAD plugins provide emulations of original classic hardware. They are also made to be used with UAD hardware, the Apollo series of audio interfaces. I have the Apollo 8. Now, I like the UAD plugins a lot, and I was really happy with the results. And this is what I used in the final version of the song on Spotify. Now, let's go through these plugins quickly. Of course, I started with Auto-Tune, and I have my retune speed at 32. Next up, I have some EQ using FabFilter's Pro Q3. Then I added a de-esser. Now, you'll see the Renaissance de-esser by Waves multiple times in this plugin chain. If you need to do that, do it. There's nothing wrong with adding a de-esser multiple times. Next up, I used Kramer tape. This is just to warm the vocal up a little bit. I felt it was a little harsh. Then I used a series of compressors. Let's take a look at those. And these are all by UAD. So I've got the distressor first, then the 1176, and then the LA2A. You can find emulations of this same hardware from other plugin companies as well, but I think UAD does a really good job in getting as close to the original as possible. Now, you'll see that I've compressed it pretty hard with the distressor and the 1176, and the LA2A just adds a little bit in there. So far, we've got Auto-Tune, EQ, de-esser, the Kramer tape, and then a bunch of compressors. Let's hear that.
Getting older wasn't part of the plan. Symptoms I'm experiencing.
Let's hear these one by one.
She's overtaking.
That's just the distressor.
Me, running nowhere 'cause I
added the 1176
on the heels
and the
of
LA2A.
insanity.
I EQ'd a little bit more after that to get rid of some problematic frequencies in there. Now, EQ makes a huge difference across your entire mix. And if you haven't watched my video about EQing your tracks, watch that. I'll leave a link to it up here. And then I started to add the real effects, I think. The reverb, this one is Valhalla's Vintage Verb, which is my go-to reverb. I even have reverbs by UAD. I tried those on this track, but I just went right back to Valhalla. Once I added the reverb, I wanted to balance the mids and sides of the vocals, and I used Leapwing Audio's centerone. Let's listen to what the vocal sounds like at this point. So I've added the reverb and centerone.
She says, grow with me. Getting older wasn't part of the plan.
Now let's take off centerone and let's hear the difference.
She says, grow with me. Getting older wasn't part of the plan.
Now you'll notice that everything is kind of sitting right in the middle, and I use centerone to kind of balance the width out a little bit, and I really like it. With the controls on centerone, you can increase the center prominence, or you can boost the sides as well. Let's just play around with it a little bit.
She says, grow with me. Getting older wasn't part of the plan. symptoms I'm experiencing.
Now you can hear how it's either pulling the vocals up in the center or it's spreading them out or accentuating the sides a lot. So I really like this kind of control, especially for vocals. After those, I added de-esser again and a little bit more EQ, and then I added the UAD twin tube processor, and this was to add some harmonics and saturation.
She says grow with me.
Let's boost the saturation too.
Getting older wasn't part of the plan. Symptoms I'm experiencing. Popping pills
Boost the
won't
harmonics.
relieve me. Can't take the physical toll now.
Let's listen to the end of the song. You can hear the vocals there.
Goes without saying that we slowly die, like literally.
Now remember, results are highly subjective and there are nuances that will sound great to you, but may not suit the next person's taste. If you can hear the vocals and words clearly and you're happy with it, that's good enough. All right, so the plugins I used retail for a lot of money, but if you wait for a good sale, you can get this for about 50% less than the retail cost. But that still is a lot of money. That's over $1,000 for these plugins. So next I ran the same vocals through this other plugin chain, which costs much less. Let's hear the results.
She says grow with me. Getting older wasn't part of the plan. Symptoms I'm experiencing. Popping pills won't relieve me.
Let's go back to the UAD and just listen so that we can compare the two.
She says grow with me. Getting older wasn't part of the plan. Symptoms I'm experiencing. Popping pills won't relieve me. Can't take the physical toll now. She's overtaking me, running nowhere, 'cause I believe I'm on the heels of insanity.
Let's look at the plugins I used. You'll see a few similarities in this chain as the last. I'm still using Autotune in the beginning. Valhalla Vintage Reverb is still here, and centerone is here as well. But I've replaced everything else, and that was a lot. I've replaced all of that stuff with just 4 plugins. One is the stock EQ by Ableton, and then 3 plugins by Waves. CLA 3A compressor, the Renaissance Vox compressor, and the CLA vocals, which is kind of a bunch of things all in one. And I really like the results. These 3 plugins at a discount price, which you can find on the Wave site like all the time, comes to $130. That's it. You could even find them for less. I'll put a link in the description of the video so you can check if there are any deals going on right now. It kind of changes from time to time. Listen, if you're looking for hardware emulations, you can't go wrong with UAD, but if you're unfamiliar with the hardware, why not use something easier and cheaper like this? Let's listen to what these effects actually did to my vocals. Let's add the CLA 3 compressor. Compressing pretty hard. Renaissance Vox. And the CLA.
On the heels of insanity.
Now you'll see that the CLA vocals plugin adds a bunch of different controls. So you can control how much bass you're putting through the vocals, the treble, compression again here, reverb. I turned the reverb off because I'm using Valhalla Reverb. And then it's even adding a little delay, an 1/8 note delay. And you can also spread the vocals wider or narrower. Of these 3 plugins, I mean, the CLA vocals is great for just a quick fix to any vocals really, but the Renaissance Vox I think is really a nice plugin. I've added this plugin to a lot of vocal tracks and it just adds something really nice. Now, once I've added the Valhalla Reverb and centerone, I think it gets pretty close to what I did with UAD.
Getting older wasn't part of the plan. Symptoms I'm experiencing.
Now, I do think that the vocals here could use maybe a little de-essing and a little bit more EQing, but you can do the de-essing with the Renaissance de-esser and You can do some EQing just with your stock EQ plugin. So which plugin chain did you like more? The $2,000 vocal chain with a bunch of UAD plugins, or the $130 one with the Waves plugins? Leave a comment below. Now, I didn't make this video to promote anything here. I love all these plugins and I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I just wanted to share what I used and a cheaper alternative for those of you who want to save a little money. What's your favorite vocal plugin? Leave a comment below. If you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Keep making the music that you love, and I will see you guys later. Oh, wait, check out one of these videos next. See you later.